Good evening, friends. Happy February. Happy Imbolc. Happy Bridget Day. I hope all of you are enjoying this beautiful transition time in between winter and spring. We're at that halfway point. For those of us in the Northern Hemisphere, that's very exciting, right? I actually saw some sun today, and that was pretty awesome. So one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight, um, in this recovery process from trauma and fawning and people pleasing and all of that we've been chatting about this last couple of days is something that I hadn't heard a lot about, but am definitely experiencing it. And I'm sure some of you have probably heard this, but the amount of grief that comes up when you start awakening to those parts that have not been heard for a really long time. I woke up this morning and I just felt this heaviness, this sadness, and I was like, what is going on? And it just dawned on me, that for 50 some odd years, there have been parts of myself that have been silenced, that haven't had a voice, that haven't been allowed to live their authentic expression. And it's like 1,000 or 1,000,000 tiny deaths, every single moment that we are pleasing and appeasing or fawning and not able to live our authentic truth in this world. And when we start recovering those parts, we feel their sadness and their grief, and sometimes their anger at being silenced for so long, for not being heard for so long. And grieving is really part of this process. And it's so important that we are able to create that safe container for those parts, not only to, speak to us and tell us their truth, but, to hear them and allow them to grieve and have their sadness and support them and support ourselves, right? Because it is us, in any way possible. And what I tell people when they come to sit with me and they're going through this is, remember back when you were a child, as far back as you can remember, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. Um, maybe when, try and remember a time before, the trauma really started changing who you were in the world. What did that part of you love? What did you do for fun? What brought you joy? Even if it's something tiny, like, something, insignificant, like getting a new can of Pringles or eating ice cream or just being able to be outside, or maybe you resource yourself by sitting with a special tree. I know I did that a lot. I had a big old oak tree in my backyard growing up, and I sat with that tree a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. And so, there are certain things that we always did to, they either brought us joy or comfort. And if you can remember those things, at least one of them, do that for yourself through this process. It's really, really important that we remember how to take care of ourselves, because for so long, our primary purpose and intention has been taking care of everything and everyone around us to make sure that we were safe. And now we need to take care of ourselves. We need to look here, ask Heart, Soul, Essence, what do I need to do? How do I need to be because it's a process of rediscovering who we are. And someone mentioned that in the comments on the second to last video, the fawning video. And thank you for that comment, because it's true. When you go your whole life altering who you are to make everyone else more comfortable, you get to a point in your life where you just don't know who the hell you actually are, and it's exciting thinking about rediscovering that, but it's also sometimes kind of daunting. Um, I feel fortunate in that I feel like it never really went that far away from me. I always knew, one of my resources growing up, one of my safe places was kind of, in my head, or kind of, traveling. I was always very psychic, very able to kind of astrally travel when I was little, actually more so when I was little. And and so communing with the Fae was always very nourishing and nurturing for me. A lot of people are afraid of the Fae, but they're my people. And so that's where I would go when I needed to feel safe. And I started having a lot of those memories come back to me around 2011, 2012. And that really helped to start that process of kind of unpacking that really tightly wrapped box that I'd kept myself in, because it wasn't safe for me to be that person when I was little. It wasn't safe for me to, hear voices or to see spirits. It wasn't safe for me to do any of those things. And that isn't even, where my trauma originated. That was just a piece of my puzzle. So unpacking that over this last, what is it, 10 years now, or so, has been a huge gift. So what is your gift? What is your gift? What is your core essence? What is it that sparks a childlike joy and wonder in you? Find that and follow it. Follow it as far as you need to follow it. And allow it to lead you back to yourself, because you're in there. That childlike joy, that wonder, that purpose that you came into this life with is still here. It's just covered in layers and layers and layers of blankets and packing tape and pillows and everything. And it just stifles our energy. And we can start throwing those layers off now. It's safe. It's safe to come out. It's safe to be authentic. And if you don't yet feel safe to be authentic, find a place inside of you that is safe to be authentic and start there. You don't need to share it with the world. You don't need to start a YouTube and start telling everybody who you are. You don't have to do that. You don't have to force it on your family. You don't have to any of that until you're ready. And I say force, and you share it with your family. You don't have to share it with anyone. In fact, sometimes when everything is still really new and tender and healing and coming through it, sometimes it's better not to share it with anyone. You know where I like to share? Morning pages. Every day, I just write. And then sometimes I come here and I share with you, because I feel a little bit safer doing that now at this point in my life. But honestly, you don't have to share. Don't share your plans. Don't share your hopes and dreams yet until you are solid in who you are. Because, we're always surrounded by people who are going to tell us that we can't, or that we're crazy, or that we're stupid, or that whatever. Everyone's got their opinion, and their opinions are based on their own lack of self-worth, and they're going to project that onto you. And your delicate, blossoming, tender little one inside that is just now starting to wake up and come out of this pattern, they don't need to hear that crap. They don't deserve it. They've listened to that BS their whole life. Don't subject them to that yet. Keep it in, keep them safe inside, and just write or, however, create art, paint it, draw it, whatever, however you translate messages from your heart, soul, essence, from spirit, from your little ones, however you translate that into something tangible, do that. Do that every day, even if you have like 5 minutes. Sometimes I don't have time to write and I'm out walking the dog and something will come to me. And so I pick up my phone and I go to the recording app and I will just record it. And I might never listen to it again. I might not do anything with it. Sometimes I'll come back, later if I have time and I'll write. But for right now, keep it in, keep it safe, keep yourself safe, and nourish and nurture your relationship with your little ones and your heart, soul, essence. And just allow that energy to heal and grow and blossom. And I'm just really excited. I'm really excited to see all of you who have been trapped in these trauma spirals. I'm so excited to see all of you blossom. I really am. And I know the grief is hard. I've been sitting with it all day and finally feeling a little bit better now. So be gentle with yourselves, love yourselves, nourish yourselves, and resource yourselves in all the ways that feel healthy and magical and connecting and nurturing. And if you need help with that, know that I'm available. You can book with me and sit with me, and we can work through some of this together. Okay, so until I see you again, just shine your light and be the beautiful, magical, blessed being that you are, and know that I am super proud of you for doing this work. Blessed be.